Okay, so you would have seen these memes kicking around on Facebook, right? And hey, if you're under the age of 40, some of them are probably even on Instagram. The revolutionary rhetoric in these surmises that things ain't what they used to be, and that's wrong because nostalgia is where the good times is. But as much as this tired stance on modernism has its place on your mum's minion memes that she shares with you, or your dad's surprisingly conservative views on the gay couple that own your local coffee shop, McDonald's weren't always grey shoeboxes where there was some racially ambiguous person mopping the floor with what looks to be just brown water. Once upon a time, diabetes in a paper bag came with the side of crawling through neon tubes of bacteria. It was known as PlayPlace. And not just a creative name, okay? To the unassuming idiot child who licked the inside of the weird curved plastic windows, it was a symbol of success. You'd somehow convinced your parents, who were already scraping pennies together, that you needed to have your birthday party at McDonald's because all of your friends would then think that you were cool. What was that like? Please tell me. We'd never had a birthday at McDonald's and we were never invited to them, so something for me and my therapist. Then again, back in the 90s, people surmised that these things would be around forever. But sadly, like the McRib and even Ronald McDonald himself, even PlayPlace came to an end. By the 2010s, McDonald's had pretty much killed them off. They had built these sterile, grey shrines to minimalism. And why get rid of the PlayPlace especially? It's not just because modernism was having its way, it's because the PlayPlace itself was a bit of a death trap.
Let's be freaking losers! Get out of your mind! Get out of your...
The first McDonald's PlayPlace was installed in California in 1971. It had a yellow brick road style path that led up to a 7-foot statue of Ronald McDonald surrounded by outdoor seating. Mayor McCheese and Officer Big Mac statues overlooking the kiddie swing set, 2 slides, a Grimace jail, a smaller Officer Big Mac jail, and even a Hamburglar swing where he's hitting the Christ pose like Jim Morrison's Scarecrow, and those weird springy rocking horse things that no one could seem to ride for some reason. And if you managed to do that and you got all the way back, it would either fling forwards and come back and smack you right there, or it'd just throw you off. I never understood why they were fun. They just hurt. The initial boom of success at this particular location led to a California company known as Set Makers spreading it out into the rest of the state, and later the rest of the country. At its height, the world's largest entertainment McDonald's opened its doors in Orlando, Florida in 1976, and by 1996 the original building had 3 stories, offered a 7-meter tall PlayPlace, 100 arcade games, and a waving 30-foot tall image of Ronald McDonald at the entrance. There was always an air of uncertainty about the cleanliness of these playgrounds. I mean, anyone with half a brain could basically just smell the kid pee when you walked into that little glass room where they try to separate the beasts from the rest of normal society. But it wasn't until 2011 when Arizona child development specialist and mother of 4, Erin Carr Jordan, surveyed fast food playgrounds in the US with a special eye on McDonald's PlayPlaces. She found traces of fecal matter, staph bacteria, and she found grime in crawl spaces, twisty slides, and connecting tubes. This as well as graffiti scrawled on the inside of the slides like "down with nap time" and free the nipple. It says here she also found clumps of hair, rotting food, and black mold tucked into the playgrounds that hadn't been cleaned in what looked to be months, maybe years. Ew. But it wasn't just your casual staph infection or life-threatening case of E. coli that made these places dangerous. Any little rugrat who thought it was a good idea to go and play on these slimy jungle gyms was putting themselves at risk because these things were just an accident waiting to happen without the bacteria. You had kids getting burns from hot slides, broken bones, cuts from bolts, and untold numbers of concussions and boo-boos, let me tell you. In a Rialto, California McDonald's PlayPlace, a 4-year-old named Dennis Williams reportedly rode down a metal slide and developed second-degree burns on his hands and legs while the slide was hot. Big Mac climbers were also a huge contributor to these stats. These only existed from the mid-1970s to the mid-1980s, but they were responsible for 400 individual incidents in America alone. Out of these included at least 20 children who suffered concussions or skull fractures, and another 80 children who experienced broken bones. There were 2 cases in Houston, Texas, one in 2010 and one 2011, where children were sliced up by exposed bolts inside of the McDonald's playgrounds. One of the children suffered a severe gash to her lip from a raised bolt inside a tunnel slide and had to get 6 stitches in her face. If you go to McDonald's, you order a McChicken, you sit down, you get your drink that's got way too much ice in it and it's not quite filled all the way to the top. The fries have been there since 2005 and you just tuck into this really awful burger and then you hear a scream from the playground and now you've got to take your kid to the hospital to get them stitches. Why do people go there? Like, I know that's pretty rich coming from a chubby guy. Like, I go to McDonald's occasionally. Fight me about it, but realistically, why do we spend money at this place? One of the worst incidents came in the form of a lawsuit in 1991. The tug and turn merry-go-round, absolutely fucking terrible name for a ride, by the way. But there was an accident where a girl's loose shoelace got caught in the spinning mechanism and ripped her shoe under the machine, breaking her leg in 2 different places. What's going on? Like, what is actually happening where you are maiming children in the name of merry-go-round? Sorry, tug and turn merry-go-rounds. Jesus Christ. Obviously, there was some crazier theories and bits and pieces that happen along the way. It is America because that's where everything happens, right? Aliens, the rapture, you can't convince me that any of those things actually exist. I don't think they do. It's like the boogeyman story they tell you. It's under your bed. It's gonna grab your legs when you go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. In this McDonald's urban legend, an 8-year-old child in Kanawha County, US, allegedly found a hypodermic needle in a McDonald's play area. The other urban legend is that one that every kid told you when you were younger is like,
I know a guy that slid down the slide and went into the ball pit and he sunk so low that he suffocated, man. And like this place is haunted because of it.
Why'd you lie to me like that, Luke? Why'd you scare me? Okay, why do I have to be afraid of the ball pit? They took it away from me eventually, and if I go into it now, I'm an overweight 30-year-old man in a ball pit, but, you know, from the age of 8, I was terrified, and that's your fault, bro. I know you're not watching this. Still hurts. And in America, what happens after someone suffers an injury? Insurmountable hospital bills, yes, but what happens shortly after that? Lawsuits, okay? All of them, all lawsuits. In 1995, McDonald's agreed to report all defects on its playground equipment to the Consumer Product Safety Commission, but it turns out they hadn't been doing that. Multiple claims that McDonald's had been aware of numerous injuries from the tug and turn merry-go-rounds. Again, terrible name. But they hadn't reported them. So in 1995, McDonald's was ordered to pay $4 million US, and when adjusted for inflation, I didn't do the math for that, okay? I didn't, but I'm assuming it's at least 3 times what it's worth, okay? $4 million in 1995, it's got to be at least $12 million now. And that's US money. If you convert that to New Zealand dollars, 24 million is like almost the most that someone's won on lottery in this country. A secondary lawsuit where the settlement went undisclosed for the Big Mac climber that happened in the 70s and the 80s that we talked about. You know, back when everyone wore incredibly short shorts and didn't wear sunscreen for some reason. 400 families, 400 incidents on one McDonald's piece of equipment over the course of less than 10 years. Adjust that for inflation, right? We didn't escape it down here in New Zealand either. Like, I know I talk about a lot of American stuff and Hollywood and whatever else. Weirdly enough, if you're watching this from the States, we actually have McDonald's here as well. I know. Yeah. Can you tell? In New Zealand, where we famously can't sue to the level of our neighbours across the Pacific, there was still several public incidents that fed the same narrative. Mice filmed running through an Auckland outlet's outdoor play area, a Hamilton branch where staff had to clean feces off a slide, and local parents also complained about staff's handling of the inquiry. I don't know about you, bro, but paying me minimum wage and then expecting me to clean up a kid's shit out of the slide, it's not happening. You can take the mop and the brown water we talked about earlier. You do it. It's your kid's shit. I'm not doing it. But then again, I am from Hamilton, so I probably would have reacted that way anyway. If you've been into the McDonald's in Huntley, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. If you want a staph infection or E. coli, even not going into the playground, go to McDonald's Huntley. I'm sure they lick every burger before they send it out to the public. Regardless of all of this, because of our overwhelming she'll be right attitude, there are lots of McDonald's in this country that still have something of a playground. From the first PlayPlace in the late 70s to the last ones being ripped out today, we're talking thousands of injuries worldwide. At least 500 documented in the US legal records alone, and several thousand more globally. And when you add up all the lawsuits, recalls, and gross hygiene scandals that never made it to the local news, no other family restaurant has ever seen the same level of backlash that McDonald's has. When a new store opens on average every 14 hours somewhere around the world, it's to be expected. Like, you're going to have a huge uptake of complaints. But when you add it all up, realistically, the lawsuit exposure, the reporting obligations, rising insurance costs, as well as the PR nightmare that comes with it, and now in a day and age where you can take your phone and record something horrible happening and post it to the internet in real time, keeping giant, hard to clean, injury prone playgrounds in your establishment is not what McDonald's had in mind when it came to making money. That's why the PlayPlace as we know it got shrunk, redesigned, or just ripped out altogether. Like this monstrosity that's literally just 2 iPads in the wall with seats in front of them. Now, gentlemen, I know we've been seeing some backlash since that little girl almost lost her leg and the puddle of piss at the bottom of the slide that's fermented so much it's almost kombucha at this point. I have a plan to get us out of this mess, and I want you to bear with me because it's revolutionary. What we do is we take McDonald's PlayPlace and we turn it into this. Thank you. Thank you. No, it's honestly, it's fine. Yeah, no, just an extra $1 million in my bonus this year. No, that's great. Thanks, Steve. Appreciate you, pal. God, I love being a CEO. Nowadays, McDonald's is a grey, sterile coffin where your diet dreams go to die, and middle-aged, unemployed mums rock up every morning to get their latte, collect their Macca's points, maybe even treat themselves to an NYC Benedict bagel, and then get hollandaise all through your car. Yeah, I'm talking to you. The incessant beeping, the standing kiosk so you no longer have to talk to another human being, and the overall sterile nature is aimed less at kids and more at adults and professionals. The people whose money doesn't have boogers on it. And that sounds like I'm using hyperbole, but I would much rather have a bunch of adults with money in my restaurant than a bunch of kids with no money just destroying the place. So look, I'll just put my CEO hat back on here for a sec. If I want to make money, I'm gonna do it that way. Okay. By 2010, the writing was on the beige wall. The PlayPlace era was almost completely phased out, and all we were left with was nostalgia, blurry childhood photos, and a bunch of memes about how powerful a child who had their birthday party at McDonald's was. I'm dead serious. Chuck it in the comments if you ever had a birthday party at McDonald's. I'm desperate to hear about how that went. Because not only did we never have one of those, we were never invited to one, but the hype was unreal. Declan, if you're watching this, you're probably not, but Declan, up in Hamilton, I'm talking directly to you now. I'm pretty sure you had one of these. You had a Game Boy with Wolfenstein on it when we were like 10. I remember, okay? So you would have had one of these McDonald's birthday parties. Why wasn't I invited, man? What the I thought we were bros like that. I'm hurt. But the new Scandinavian coffee shop chic has taken any semblance of fun almost entirely. All it's really done, essentially, is give them complete license to sell you a $14 salad, which isn't even really a salad, and then just try their best not to be embarrassed about the fact that there used to be a Hamburglar statue in the corner. Hamburglar was chill. Everyone gave Hamburglar a hard time. Did you know that his real name is Hamilton B. Urgler? You know, yeah, actually, you know what? Maybe they should have got rid of him. McDonald's PlayPlace is just a fuzzy memory for us now. But the next time you walk into a Mickey D's or a Macca's or a Mackey's or even just a straight up McDonald's, depending on what part of the world you're in, I want you to close your eyes, take a big deep breath in through your nostrils, and try to think of the last time that you slid into the ball pit and went, oh, why is it wet in here? Ladies and gentlemen, new videos every fortnight. This one is definitely going to be late, I can assure you of that. Yeah, this one is definitely going to be late, and I'm very sorry about that. However, the next video, I wish I could tell you guys right now. Like, I really do. It's so special, and I know you guys are really going to enjoy it. Not only is it a video about a subject that I have grown up literally my entire life with, but I also get to interview someone at the end of the video that was the leader of that thing. You know what I mean? It's like making a video about Shrek and then being able to interview Mike Myers. Like, it's that level, I swear to you. So make sure you like and subscribe and leave a comment. Mess that bell up as well so you don't miss it. If you're interested, head over to Patreon. It's like $2 New Zealand a month. So 35 cents American. I don't know, man. It's cheap anyway. But head over there. Honestly, I'm so stoked. We're almost at 5,000 if we're not at 5,000 already, which means we're 5% of the way to my first ever YouTube plaque, which is like the whole goal for this channel, to do it from the ground up and do it off the strength of my own back. So I'm really, really excited for the rest of this, and I'm hoping this microphone hasn't fucked up my audio terribly. It doesn't look like it has. Peace, and have a good day.
The past is sacred. I found more than I expected.